Back to the UTSA game, it was a strong start on offense. You guys just weren't really able to hold on to that. This time you guys come out against Memphis, have that strong start on that first play of the offense, and then really just kept building off of it. What was the message that worked for you guys going into that game?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. It's just we got to, finish better and protect the football. I think that was a big thing. And something we always preach, we just didn't do very well against UTSA and did, really well against Memphis. And so it's just keep the same thing. Score touchdowns in the red zone. Be dialed in on every play. Make sure, every play is the play where we make a play instead of every play is the play we wish we had back.
And then, you look at your O-line, you looked like you had, an XXL pocket at times to be able to throw back there. How much does that really just help you get the passing game going with blocking like that up front?
Yeah, they're incredible, man. I mean, it's nice when you're just sitting back there with all day to throw. Guys can not be open and then just come open. It's great. I love it. Those guys up front played really well. I'm looking forward to them doing the same this week.
And I think the note said it was the 7th game that you guys have won that's been decided by 8 points or less. I guess how do you kind of take that and work on, I guess, building a more dominant lead to end some of these games?
Yeah, I mean, we got to finish stronger in the fourth quarter. In the second half, just generally as an offense, we got to be better. I think we had 3 or 4 3-and-outs. Like, that's absurd. That's kind of unheard of for me. Like, that kind of offense is just not offense at all, right? I mean, so we got to be better at that. I got to be a lot better, We just got to keep the attention to detail high even when we're up by a couple of scores. And we did that most of the game. Obviously, in the second half, we didn't do it well enough.
And just quickly, that last play where you ran for it, though, if that was a passing play, I think there was 4 tight ends out there and Javen Gordon. Who was the read on that final play?
I think the primary there was Javen on a little out, and then Scoos was kind of running a little, like, corner route, inside release corner route. And so Javen was the guy, and then – they played zone to it, though, so they covered it. But that's what they do when we play zone. They can't cover me. They can't cover everything, especially in zone defense. A lot of times the quarterback runs open.
Coach sort of just mentioned it, but to your second to last question you just answered, getting exposed against UTSA, how much did y'all carry that emotion into the game against Memphis?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just a good reset factor where it was kind of to come to the realization of, like, this season is right in front of us. If we mess around a little more, it's gone. In the sense that we want to go win a championship, and so we got to win a championship every single week. The way the championship run is set up right now, like, we have to win every game to get there. So essentially, every single game leading up to the championship is the championship game. And so, because without them, there is no championship game. So that's how we have to see it, man. It's 1-0 every week, and we have to know what our goal is, and at the same time be focused on what's in front of us and be present in the week. And so that's the fun challenge that we had, and it was the realization we had midweek, man. The leaders on this team really stepped up and kind of put words to what we were kind of thinking. But when you identify that goal, it's so much easier to move towards that, especially in unison when you talk about it as a group. So it was just really awesome to see the team kind of buy into that and be like, all right, we want to go win a championship. So what do we got to do? We got to be 1-0 this week.
And to that point, Coach also just talked about the parity in the league. So when you see a FAU team that's 500 in conference but under 500 overall, just what does preparing for this championship game look like against them and just not playing down to your opponent?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you got to think, like, you got to go attack the opponent every week, right? I think that's the biggest thing is we got to play on the attack, offensively and defensively. Like, we got to go attack and be like the person inflicting what's going on and make them react to what we're doing. We got to do our thing. And so that's important when you're going to face a team, that if people think we should beat them, like, we still got to treat it that way, where we got to be the people attacking because, I've been in moments where you're late in the season and you're supposed to be better in this team. You're like, we'll get it right, and you're just trying not to lose. Like, in reality, we're doing a really good job this week already, and last week obviously, but this week already of making sure we're attacking every play, and we're going to attack the defense throughout the game.
I remember last year toward the end of the year, the Big 12 had like 5 teams that were all like vying for the championship game at that time, including BYU. Can you draw on that experience and just like how much all of those games felt like a playoff game no matter what the quality of the opponent was?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I kind of said it after the game, but November football games are the ones you remember. Those are the crucial games. And those are always a playoff-style games because they mean so much when it comes to postseason implications. So, yeah, you got, like I said, you got to be dialed in it. You can't take anybody for granted because, any team, is like, you know what, let's go win out. Like every team in the country is. If you're, a team that hasn't had a great year, you're like, you know what, let's just have a great last 3-4 games and, make something good out of it or anything. And that's a subpar team. And the good teams, we got to be higher urgency on that. We got to be like, listen, we got something to play for, man. This is real. We got something to really play for, to really do something great and be a great team. And so we got to have that high urgency. Like I was saying, you can't ever treat a game like you're slated the favorite. Like no matter what, we got to have that chip on our shoulder like we're the underdog. And like we've been before many times. And so that's kind of the focus for me. That's what I'm trying to get relayed to the guys.
And when you watch FAU's defense, what's the first thing that stands out?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a defense we haven't seen. They play a lot of too high kind of quarters type stuff, a lot of man stuff. They're not afraid to go man. They believe in their guys, and so we got to respect them for that. But like I said, like for me in our offense, we got to understand what we're going against. But I'm going to understand it in the capacity like, okay, what are we going to do against that defense? What are we going to attack? How are we going to beat us against that defense? And so I like that we have a lot of stuff already in. Today's kind of a heavy load day, and I like a lot of stuff we got in offensively. We're doing some really cool things. It's not often you love the game plan so much on a Tuesday, and I was talking to Craddock today. In practice, I say, Coach, I know it's Tuesday, but that might be my favorite play on the game plan already. And so to have that kind of feeling early in the week is great.
You were recognized by 3 different organizations this week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you even reflect on that right now, or you just sort of put it in your back pocket and look at it later?
Yeah, no, you just kind of, like you said, put it in your back pocket. It's not something to worry about. It's awesome, man. The 3 great organizations. Davey O'Brien Award is obviously a prestigious award. The Manning's obviously, local to here. It's cool to have that connection. And the conference recognized me is great. I definitely play with a little chip on my shoulder. I think, that's something I should get every week. You know what I mean? Not that I deserved it every week this year, but like that's my goal is to make sure I can get that every week. So for me, it's like, all right, I did it this week. Now let's go do it again next week. Like that's kind of how I feel about that award. But I'm grateful for it. It's awesome. But like you said, it's gravy, right? It's cool, but it's really got nothing to actually do with the game. And so we got to go focus on the game this week.
So this game's going to be the polar opposite of your last home game in terms of pace because FAU runs faster than any team in the country. Army probably runs slower than any team in the history of college football. Yeah. How much do you look forward to that opportunity because you're going to have a ton of possessions out there regardless of how the game is going?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm not going to lie. I have never been part of any game where any drive had 3 TV timeouts in it. That was Army's first drive against us, a month ago, right? But, yeah, that was kind of absurd. That was crazy to even be a part of. I mean, I'm sitting there. I'm just like, I feel like I had 5 different conversations with dudes on the sideline where, you're usually in games, I can't have any, right? But, we weren't on the field yet. It was their first drive of the game. We're just ready to go. All we're doing is the final checklist. We're ready to get going. So there wasn't really much else to talk about. And so I'm down there with, I think I was with Sam and Dixon Agu, and we're just like, dude, this is crazy. And they're both like, yep, we did this last year, bro. This is how it goes. And I'm like, yeah, I never played in academy. So I'm grateful to not have to play Army again. I'm grateful we're playing a team that's going to give us the ball a lot. And, part of that is our defense is going to give us the ball a lot. And so I'm excited for that.
That's the perfect segue. Just kind of seeing your defense from the sideline, seeing that pass rush, seeing the D-line mature over the season. Just how much are you impressed with that?
Yeah, they're awesome. I'm happy they're not rushing me back there. That's a fact. Whenever you can say that, something good's happening on your team. I felt that way in fall camp, man, playing against them. It was like, I'm tired of playing against these guys. These guys get after the quarterback. They cover well on the back end. And so, linebacker core is as deep and solid as they come, especially in this conference. And so it's fun to watch them make plays. Cam Hamilton making plays. They said Cam Hamilton ran 20 miles an hour on one of the plays he was chasing. That guy's 295. I mean, that's absurd. I hit 20 miles an hour in the game, but I'm 100 pounds, almost 100 pounds lighter than I'm 210, and so it's 80 something pounds, and so it's crazy that they do that, and so it's fun to watch. So man, him, Harvey, Tana, Champ, all those guys, man, those guys are studs. It's fun to watch them. Sweet, thanks.